Adventures in the Supernatural. The XYZ Company brings you a new series of programs, a series which we believe is just a bit different from anything you have ever heard over your radio. A scientific investigation of supernatural phenomena. Adventures into that shadowy realm which lies beyond the horizon of proven knowledge. Conducting this series of investigations and acting as commentator is the eminent psychologist, Dr. Lionel Hirsch. I present him now, Dr. Hirsch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I begin by explaining the position of the sponsor and my own position as regards this series of broadcasts. We are not out to prove or disprove anything. Our attitude is simply of scientific inquiry. The question, are there such things as mental telepathy, spirits, premonitions? Our answer is, we do not know. However, events do occur, or are reported to have occurred, weird, mysterious happenings difficult to explain through the operation of known natural laws. In this series of programs, we plan to give you in dramatic form the story of some of these happenings, instances which have been reported to and investigated by established scientific organizations. In dramatizing these actual cases for radio presentation, it is sometimes necessary to make occasional trifling changes. For example, to fit into a half-hour's broadcast events which occurred over a longer period of time. But the basic facts are presented just as they were originally reported. At the close of the dramatization, we will bring to the microphone the person or persons to whom the events occurred, and will introduce such testimony as has a bearing on the case. The final decision, however, as to whether the case is or is not an example of the supernatural will be left to you. Thank you.
And so, based upon an original report, we present our first adventure in the supernatural. Our story begins in the library of an English country house. It is a pleasant room which looks out through a glass-paneled door onto the garden and a green velvety expanse of lawn, invisible now in the blackness of a hot, sultry August night. A night so black that the darkness seems to press like a tangible thing against the window panes. At a bridge table are the Major, his wife, his daughter, and son. Somewhere in the house, a clock strikes 11.
One spade.
2 hearts.
Well, Mildred? Oh, is it my turn?
It certainly is.
I'm so sorry.
Well, what's the matter?
Well, nothing. I was just listening. How quiet everything is. Not even the sound of the frogs in the creek. It's as if the whole world had suddenly stopped and was waiting for something.
Are you going to finish this rubber?
Oh, yes, of course.
I said a spade. You should keep your mind on the game. And I said 2 hearts. You know, that is queer.
What's queer?
About the frogs. Ordinarily, they'd be croaking like good fellows. Have you noticed there aren't any beetles this evening, are there?
Beetles?
Fumbling against the windows. When the lights are on in here, there are usually dozens of them.
No doubt the heat has killed them. I've never seen it so close and stifling. I'm sure it's been hot enough to be the death of everything.
Yes, that's it. That's the feeling. The presence of death.
Uh-huh.
It came over me as I was returning from the tennis courts. It'd been glorious all afternoon, until the sun went down. And then darkness came on so swiftly, and everything was quiet and hushed. Not the drowsy quiet of evening, but a deathly stillness. It was like leaving a bright, sunlit street and suddenly stepping into a darkened room where someone lay dead.
Oh, don't be morbid, Mildred.
That's the feeling I can't shake it off.
Oh, rot.
It is oppressive, Charles.
We're going to have a storm, that's all. It's always this way before a storm. Now, I bid a spade and Ronnie here bid 2 hearts.
3 diamonds.
I pass, as usual. Haven't had a bit of luck all evening.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing, Mildred. Here's a nice run of clubs for you, too. Oh, hold on. That's Mother's trick.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes, do watch the game, Mildred.
The roses in that bowl on the piano are quite wilted. You'd better tell Ellen to cut some fresh ones in the morning. She's getting careless.
Why, those were fresh this afternoon. I saw Ellen picking them in the garden.
Oh, they don't look it. If you ask me, the whole garden looks a bit seedy. As if everything were dying. Oh, Miley, where is Ellen this evening, anyway?
I let her have the evening off. She has some cousins living near here. She wanted to call on them.
Yes, but it's after 11 o'clock. She should be back by this time. I say, Mildred, would you please... Millie.
Mildred, what's the matter?
She's fainted.
Mildred, darling.
Here, take a swallow of water. Oh, that's all. Now, she'll be all right. Well, you feel better?
A little. Awfully stupid of me.
But, darling, what happened?
I don't know. Everything got dark, and then I heard the sound of hoofbeats and the rumble of a carriage. It kept coming closer and closer, and finally it swept past me, and through the carriage window I saw a face, chalk white with staring eyes. Oh, it was horrible.
There, darling.
Too much tennis this afternoon in the hot sun. In India, I've seen things like this happen lots of times. Had a little touch of the sun myself once. Fancied I saw all sorts of weird things. One gets over it quickly now. There's nothing to worry about. You feel better now, don't you?
Yes, quite all right. Only it did seem so real.
You'd better run along to your room and get some rest anyway.
And tomorrow we'll call in Dr. Thornton.
Oh, I'll be all right by tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. And no more tennis for a few days, eh?
Do hope there's nothing really wrong.
Oh, I don't see that there's anything to be alarmed about. Mildred's always been a normal, healthy girl.
Maybe we'd better go back to town.
But let's wait and see what Dr. Thornton says, eh? It's odd, though. It should happen tonight. What with all the other queer things. The frogs and beetles. The flowers suddenly wilting. Oh, I say, don't be a blithering idiot.
Listen. Is that you, Ellen? Ellen?
Yes, Mum.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure it was you.
Yes, Mum, it's me. I'm sorry I'm so late getting back. We had an accident almost.
An accident?
Yes, sir. Jerry, that's my cousin, was driving me back in the motor. He chauffeurs for the Colbert, you know. And we was going along, taking it easy-like and talking over old times, and then we hears the sound of horses and a coach coming up behind us.
A coach?
Yes, sir, a carriage. Traveling fast it was, too. It was on us almost before we knew it. Jerry just had time to pull to one side.
You mean a coach almost ran into your motor?
Yes, sir.
Oh, why?
Wait a moment. What kind of a coach was it, Ellen?
But I don't know, Mum. I didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
No, sir. What with it being excited like, it passed us and went tearing down the road without...
The coach almost ran into you, past you, and you didn't see it?
No, sir. All we heard was the sound. And that's the truth, sir. If you don't believe me, you can ask my cousin. But I've never lied to you in my life, and I'm not lying now. It's the truth, so help me.
We know you're not lying, Ellen. But what you heard was probably the wind.
There hasn't been a breath of air stirring since sundown.
It wasn't the wind. It was something terrible. Terrible.
Oh, now, Ellen, I'm sure it wasn't anything terrible. And anyway, it's all over now. There's nothing to cry about. You come along with me.
Yes.
Well, how do you explain that? I don't think Ellen was playing tennis in the sun this afternoon. Oh, a lot of nonsense. That's not an explanation. Well, there isn't any explanation, except that she imagined it. A coach. Nobody rides in coaches anymore. She'd have been just as reasonable if she said she'd encountered a knight in armor. And I suppose the fact that Mildred spoke of a coach when she fainted... What are you driving at? I'm going to bed, sitting around here talking a lot of nonsense. Hello, thunder. Told you it was going to storm. Think I'll go out and have a look at the weather. I say, Ronald, come out here. Yes? What is it? You know, I believe that is a coach. Who in the name of common sense would be driving a coach around the country at this time of night? Listen. Sounds as if it's coming this way, too. No question about it. It is coming this way. It must be at the turn in the road. By Jove, then it's coming here. There aren't any other houses this side of the turn. Must be driving without lights. I can't see a thing. I can. There.
Oh, right.
And they're turning in.
Great Scott, they're running right over the lawn and through the garden. They'll ruin it. Here, I say, hold on there.
Good Lord, they're headed directly for the creek. They'll never see it without lights. They'll go over the bank.
Stop! Stop, there's a creek down there, a steep bank.
They can't stop at that cliff. They'll go over the bank even if they do see it.
Go in the house and get a lantern. Hurry.
Charles, what is it?
Carriage. Turned off the road and headed for the creek. Slashed right across the lawn and the garden.
Well, the horses must have run away. There's probably no one in the carriage.
There were 2 men on the driver's seat. I saw that much.
What happened? I thought I heard...
Nothing's happened. Go back to your room.
Just a carriage that got off the road, dear.
A carriage?
Yes, they must have lost their way.
And a very old carriage with a faded crest on it and 2 coachmen in livery.
Eh? You saw it.
No, but I knew it would come.
Here's the lantern. I had a time finding it.
Now be careful, Charles. You don't know what...
I'll be careful. Take Mildred inside and give me the lantern, Ron. Come along. Hello? Hello there. I say hello. There doesn't seem to be anyone about.
Here they are, over here.
Huh?
They pulled up and swung around just in time, too. If it wasn't, they'd have been over the edge of the bank and into the creek.
Yes, but where is the coachman? Hello.
I don't see how these horses could have run that fast. They're positively skeletons. And the coach looks like something out of a museum. I wonder it didn't fall apart.
I can't understand what became of the coachman. I say there.
Dead. I think there's someone inside the coach.
Huh? Wait a moment. Stay here. Anyone in there? Huh?
Why don't you open the door?
Oh, beg your pardon, madam.
Oh, Dad, here's the coachman. Oh, wait a moment, you fellows. What are you doing here?
Us.
Come down off that coach, I tell you. You're trespassing. We want to talk with you. I say we want to talk with you.
Get up.
Here, wait a moment.
They won't stop.
I didn't see them till they were climbing up on the coach. I don't know where they could have come from.
That's not the only curious thing. There's a woman in that coach, and she was dead.
Again, the scene is the library, the time the following morning. The garden doors are open, and sunlight streams into the room. In the garden, birds sing. The Major and Dr. Thornton are standing in the doorway.
Sorry to bring you out here on a wild goose chase, Doctor. I didn't imagine there was anything really the matter with Mildred. Still, you
Nothing to worry about at all. Mildred's in perfect health. If everyone in the village were as healthy as she is, I'd have to give up my practice.
Oh, what do you suppose made her faint?
Oh, any number of things. The heat, perhaps. A little touch of indigestion. She's never been subject to fainting spells, has she?
No.
Some little temporary condition, that's all.
I don't know whether she mentioned it to you or not, but for a moment after she came to, she talked rather incoherently. She seemed to have the impression that she'd seen a coach. A rather queer coach.
Nothing especially unusual about that. Happens lots of times. Ever see a patient come out from under an anesthetic? Same thing. Simply a dream.
Only this one persisted. We had a bit of a time convincing her that she hadn't seen it.
Well, the human mind's a peculiar mechanism. We don't know very much about it. I don't suppose there are any of us who can tell exactly where dreams leave off and reality begins. We all carry around a certain number of delusions.
Yes, I understand there's no one quite sane. Not so sure about myself. But I wonder. Suppose a person's mind were a mechanism so finely tuned that it could record a happening long before the less sensitive minds recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
Or haven't you ever heard of dreams coming true?
Only in romantic novels. Well, I still have 2 more calls to make. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Oh, what about golf tomorrow?
Oh, yes, right. Come in. Oh, yes, Ellen?
The inspector is here again, sir.
Oh, yes.
And I picked some fresh roses. They look much better today, sir.
Yes, don't they?
I'll put them here in the bowl. I think they're as pretty as we've had this summer.
They are pretty. Oh, show the inspector in.
Yes, sir.
Oh, come in, Inspector. Sit down, won't you?
Thank you. I'd dislike to be bothering you again. But since I talked to you last night, well, there are several little details that need clearing up.
No bother at all.
Now, in the first place, are you sure that woman in the carriage was dead? Sure she hadn't merely fainted?
Inspector, I've served in the army for a long time. I've seen death too often not to recognize it. The woman was dead.
And these two coachmen, what did they look like?
Well, as I told you, I got only a glimpse of them. Besides, it was quite dark. Oh, yes, one thing I did notice. They wore livery.
Livery?
Yes. The coach had a crest on it, a coat of arms. As my son said, it looked as if it might have come out of a museum.
Your son saw all this too?
Yes, and so did my wife and daughter. At least they saw the coach pass the house again as it returned from the creek and swung back onto the road.
You know, Major, this case has some very extraordinary aspects. My first theory was that the two coachmen were taking a body somewhere with the idea of disposing of it, and got onto the wrong road.
Huh?
However, an investigation of the vicinity shows no deaths nor disappearances reported. And if these two men were attempting to dispose of a body, they'd scarcely want to attract attention to themselves by dressing in livery. What's more, such a coach as you describe would certainly have been noticed on the road. Thus far, we haven't discovered anyone who has seen it.
It passed our maid on the road last evening.
Oh, well, would you mind if I had a talk with her and get her description of it?
She won't be able to give you a description. She didn't see it either.
Didn't see it? If it passed her on the road, I'm afraid I don't understand, Major.
I don't think any of us understand. I don't think we'll ever understand.
Why, what do you mean?
When I say this, Inspector, I want you to know that I'm a sane, sensible, practical sort of a person. But in a universe as complex as ours, it is conceivable that there are other worlds, other planes of existence, events which occur in time and space, not our time and space. Perhaps that coach and its strange occupants wandered momentarily from out of another world.
Well,
You recall last night I told you the carriage had plunged off the road, crashed through the garden, and cut across the lawn.
Yes?
Under those galloping hooves and careening carriage wheels, I naturally assumed the garden would be wrecked, the lawn to pieces.
Well?
This morning when I looked out, there wasn't a single hoofprint, a single rut of a carriage wheel, a single broken trellis in the garden. On the lawn, not the tiniest bit of turf had been disturbed. Inspector, there was not one sign that the carriage had ever been here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am turning the microphone over to Dr. Hirsch for his comments on the story you have just heard.
Thank you. This dramatization was based upon an actual report given to the British Society for Psychical Research by Major Charles Gordon Beck. A mysterious coach carrying a dead woman, crashing across a lawn, yet leaving no marks, then disappearing into the night. And mind you, 4 sane people believe they saw it. What is the explanation? Now, from a scientific standpoint, we cannot begin our investigation with the assumption that the report is true. Neither can we take the opposite assumption, that it is false. In drawing our conclusions in this respect, there are several points to be considered. First, the character of the recipient, that is, the person who claims to have perceived or witnessed the phenomenon. We have to decide, by whatever ability we have in judging a man's character, whether he is truthful or not. Before we decide he is not telling the truth, we should find some inconsistencies in his story, or at least some motive or reason for his telling a falsehood. But if we fail to find these, we do not yet have to assume that his story is true. The man might be telling an untruth and yet be perfectly honest. He may be an imaginative type, capable of conjuring up in his mind all manners of weird experiences and actually believing them. Or he might have had an hallucination. Once again, we have to judge a man and decide whether he is an imaginative type, the kind of person who would dream dreams and see visions. If we decide that he is telling the truth, that he actually saw what he claims to have seen, there is still the possibility that he is a victim of a hoax, a practical joke. So, before we arrive at any conclusion at all, we should look for natural causes to explain the affair rather than supernatural. Now, I'm going to let you make your own decisions on all of these points. I'm bringing to the microphone for an interview the man who saw the coach and its occupant and who made the report to the British Society, Major Charles Gordon Beck. Major Gordon Beck, Was the dramatization you heard just now an accurate representation of what happened?
Yes, as far as the facts are concerned. Of course, the words which your characters used were not precisely our words.
Of course. But the story we presented was just as it actually happened.
Yes, yes.
How long ago did this happen?
Let me see. About 11 years ago, last August.
Mm-hmm. Where did it happen?
In Devonshire, England, where I was living.
Did the house you lived in have the reputation of being, haunted?
No, not that I heard of.
In your experience, had anything strange ever happened there before?
No.
Or after this curious affair?
Never.
You are an army officer, are you not?
I was. I'm retired now.
In your own personal experience, not only in your home in Devonshire, but anywhere, anytime, has any other occurrence like this ever happened to you? Have you ever experienced hallucinations?
No, nothing like that.
Do you believe in supernatural phenomena?
Well, no, I can't say that I do. I've always considered myself a practical man.
Yes. Now understand, Major, we're not trying to trip you up, but simply attempting to find some sort of logical explanation. How do you know you didn't imagine the whole thing?
Well, if I'd been the only one to have seen it, I think I would have doubted my own sanity. But my son accompanied me down to the creek, and my wife and daughter saw the coach pass the house. I don't think we all could have imagined it.
Well, how do you know it wasn't a practical joke that someone was playing on you?
Well, that wouldn't explain the absence of wheel marks on the lawn and in the garden.
All right. Then let's take another assumption. Let's assume there's a family living in the country, getting a bit bored with life, and they make up a story just to amaze the neighbors. Remember, I'm not saying you did make up the story, of course. I'm asking if that isn't a logical explanation.
Yes, perhaps it is. But they'd have to be very silly people, and they'd probably gain a reputation of being unmitigated liars. And in such a case, I don't think they'd take chances of running afoul of the law by leading the police on a wild goose chase. Of course, they might try to amaze their neighbors. But no, I don't think they'd try to amaze the police.
Well, how long after this happened did you notify the police?
Immediately, the same evening.
Did you tell anyone else about it?
Not at the time. You see, at first I was mainly concerned with the fact that the woman in the coach was dead.
Yes.
I didn't realize how unearthly the affair was until the next morning, until I saw there were no marks on the lawn. Then I decided I had better not say anything more about it. You see, people might think I'd gone out of my head.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't say anything about it?
No.
You didn't use the affair to gain any notoriety?
No.
But you intimate that some time later you did mention the affair. How long afterwards and to whom?
Well, I should say about 3 months afterwards. I mentioned it to some friends in London. One of them suggested that I report it to the British Society for Psychical Research.
And you did?
Yes. I made a report, and it's included in the proceedings of the Society.
Did the British Society for Psychical Research offer any explanation?
No, but they did tell me a very unusual thing. They said that at 4 different times, 4 different people in 4 different parts of the world had reported a similar occurrence.
What do you mean by a similar occurrence?
I mean a coach with coachman and carrying the corpse of a woman.
And this strange equipage was never apprehended, never caught, never explained?
No.
Have you yourself any explanation to offer?
No, I haven't. I've puzzled over it for years, and so has my wife and my son and daughter. As I told you several days ago, my only reason for coming to your wireless studio here would be for the purpose of putting the story before a great many people. Perhaps there's a very simple explanation that I've overlooked, that some of them might see.
Thank you, Major Gordon Beck. Thank you very much. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's as far as we've been able to go. Is there an explanation for Major Gordon Beck's unusual experience? We leave that to you. And now I am returning the microphone to your announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are genuinely interested in studying so-called supernatural phenomena. If anything of this nature has happened to you, we would greatly appreciate a letter about it, giving names, dates, and the facts as you remember them. If your report is adaptable to dramatization, we will reimburse you for the story. We say good night now, and allow you to draw your own conclusions concerning the story you have heard.